Good evening. So I hope you can all hear me now. Mm, okay, yeah, nice. Thank you very much. So yesterday, we want to continue from where we stopped yesterday. So yesterday we just did just did the basic commands that we can use to navigate through files and folders and the likes. That's from the the pwd to the cd command to the ls and how to make directory. So like for today, we'll be basically going over some other commands that we can use to do some other tasks on the command line, such as the ones we can use to navigate, not just to navigate through folders, but to also search for things, move stuff around, and do a whole lot of stuff. So like yesterday, like from the slide you can see now, we basically, the ones in green are the ones we've covered. But for today, hopefully we can cover the ones in red, and then if you still have enough time after that, then you can move on to other ones depending on time. So before I dive into maybe the next section I have here on the slide, so I want to show us a command called the echo command. Please, I hope I'm audible enough. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Am I audible enough, guys? Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So the echo command is something equivalent to what is very common in most programming languages, which is what you use to print simple statements on either your maybe IDs, or maybe maybe trying to maybe just, for example, in Python, if you want to print a certain statements or stuff like that, once you type print that word, or maybe a string or text, it will simply be printed out. But then on the command line or in bash scripting, the common one that we have here is the echo command, which allows users to display lines of text and strings. Whichever one we pass, they will simply be displayed on the terminal for us. So for example, now the one we can see on the screen so far now. So I don't want to break tradition here. Normally, most of the courses take on programming languages, they always go by using the hello word to kick things off. So let's not break that tradition. So if I want to simply print a pattern of text, or maybe a line of text, or maybe strings on the terminal, all I need to simply do is to summon the echo command to do that for me. So the pattern is just to simply type the echo command, and then you pass in whatever string or text that you want it to print out. So there are still like other advanced stuff that you can still do with the echo command, such as when we get to bash scripting, when we start creating variables, or using echo to call on different files and the likes. So that's about it for now. But like for now, the basic thing we just need to know now is like what's the echo. What we need to know now is just the basic stuff that the echo command does for us, which is to simply print out a string of text or thereabouts. So just like what I've showed us now so far, like on the screen. Let me just do a quick demo again. So let's say I want to print out just a pattern of text, maybe hi, on the screen. All I need to do is just type this echo, and then once I press enter, I would get the output ASAP. So most times, for simpler tasks like this, we may not need to add that's to include whatever pattern of text or line of text we want to print out within a quote. So I can still go ahead to just simply say echo hi, and I'll still get the same outcome. So, and that is it about that. So going forward, we want to look at some other commands that we can use to create files and also inspect files, all working on the command line. So the first one I want to introduce for today will be the touch command, which is a command that we can use to create file. That's an empty file whenever I want to work on the command line. So for this particular one, the pattern is just to simply call on the touch command and then indicate the name of that empty file that we want to create. So for example, in this scenario now, the example we have here on this slide, I'm just simply trying to create a README file that's with the touch command. So from the command you can see on the screen, just touch README, and then that file will be simply created for us on that's inside our Linux file system. So README, like, don't be confused about like the README you are seeing here on the screen is just like kind of what it just represents an empty file that will later get to work on, maybe to add text and the likes. So maybe when we get to GitHub and the GitHub path and the likes, so we get to know why we always need to create a README file whenever we want to start a bioinformatics project. So like a README, like in most cases, is just like kind of a file that you get to store like instructions on how to that's instructions about your programs, maybe what you've written and maybe how others can maybe replicate your work. So it's just simply for reproducibility along the line. So that's about it. So let's just do a quick demo. So this is the analysis folder, right? So these are the files we have so far. So let's say I want to create an empty file called, let me just call it names dot, you can name it .txt. You can come with an extension. You can with or without extension, it would always be an empty file that you can later on edit to add stuff. And all of this is what we're doing, like that we've been doing since yesterday. If we should go back to our graphical user interface, we'll still find all of this stuff that we're creating. So it's not as if we are doing them maybe on another part of our system that we still can't access on our graphical user interface. So if you still go back to this file parts on your GUI, that's go to your home, to your bioinfo, to your analysis folder, and check for all of these files. You will still see them. And then if we create new files again, they would also appear on the GUI whenever we go there to check them. So that's about it. So like once I click enter for this particular command, I would simply create a file called names.txt. So which you can see here already on the screen. So this is just like an empty file that we can later on edit and then go forward to do any other thing we want to do. So likewise, we can also, yes. Oh, people are waiting on the call. Sorry. Toby, is Toby on the call? Please, can you hear me admit?
I am on the call.
But oh, you are not logged in with this. Yeah. Right.
Admit everyone before you continue, please.
No, these are, I think, bots or something. No stakers.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah. So the same way we just created a file on our current working directory. Like we can also create a file that's an empty file in a directory within our current working folder without needing to cd into it to do that. So which is the example we are seeing here now. So like for example, this stuff this example we are seeing here is okay, this is two parts in a way. So one thing I forgot to mention is that you can create multiple files at the same time with the touch command. So like in this particular example here on the screen here, we are trying to create two different empty files. So one is the README file, and then the second one is the ids.txt file. So the data and then the / as seen here is the name of the folder that we want to create that ids.txt file. So an example of that is, let's say I want to create a txt file inside module 2. All I'll need to do is the same touch command to do that. Then I'll specify the name of that folder and then the name of what I want to name the empty file. So let's say example.txt. So once I click enter, that file will be created inside the module 2. So we can't see it here until we So we enter inside the module 2 directory that we can now be able to see that example.txt file. So if I should cd into it and ls, so I'm now inside the module 2 directory, right? So if I should cd into it and click ls, I should see the example.txt file which I just created. So that's about it. And then also, just like what I said there, we can create multiple files at the same time. So I can say create that's with the touch command, create a1.txt, also create a2.txt, and so on and so forth. So if I should press enter now and ls to check what I have inside my directory, I should see two of those new empty files inside, which we would then get to learn to see how to open them and do all that stuff as we go on. So, and another thing here, another point says that like the touch command, apart from creating an empty file, it also modifies that's the time of a file. And what this is trying to say is that like, let's say you are trying to create a file that the name you want to use already exists. If you should run that command, it's to simply overwrite what you had before and then update the timing. So let's say, for example, now, let me do ls minus l to check ls hyphen l to check all the files I have. So I have my a1.txt, a2.txt, and the likes. And then these two are created around 16 p.m., right? So if I should still go on to create two of those files again and check the time, it should be updated. And that's simply because I've used the same name to create two other files, and then it will just simply overwrite what I had before. So if you don't want to overwrite like your existing file, just try to use a different name or maybe add an underscore to differentiate them or something. So if I should do ls minus l and check the time, it changes. So this is from 4:16 p.m. to 4:18 p.m. So the next one I have on the list here is the excuse me, the nano command. So the nano command is simply a text editor. So just the same way you have your Microsoft Word and the likes that you use to type documents and do lots of stuff. The command line on this one has its special form of text editor. Like apart from this nano, we also have like some others, but then we'll focus on the nano, which is like sort of the most popular one for now. So it's just like kind of a command line text editor that is always pre-installed in any Linux system that you're using. So if you want to simply create a new file, the same way you did with the touch command, you can also it's the same thing. The same thing we did with the touch command, that we can also do it with the nano command, that is to create a file. But then apart from just creating a file, we can also use the nano to open already existing files and maybe edit, save, undo, redo, and do a whole lot of other things. So like it has like lots of editing features, not just like your normal text editors like the Microsoft Word, like the same way you can find, replace, cut, paste, justify, and do lots of other things. You can still do it with the nano command, and this is like still the major text editor for writing scripts. So whichever script you want to write, Python, R, whichever of them, just write them on the nano text editor and then save and do the work you want to do. So like the the picture we are seeing here is just a part of what we have on the nano. So I'll show us what it looks like before explaining all of this that I have. So let's say I want to let me just simply open the one we've made already. So I'll open a1.txt. So this is an empty file which we created before we touch command. So like in this particular one, it's like your Microsoft Word PC. So you can type, do whatever you want to do, write scripts, and then do a whole lot of other things that the nano text editor allows. So if we look at the bottom part of this text editor now, which is what we are seeing, we're also seeing here. Like these are like sort of things that you can do while typing or doing like maybe any other thing. So let me say let me just type something random. This is okay. So like what we have here now, we can go on to modify, cut, paste, find, and do lots and like a lot of things that we normally do on the text editor. So, and okay, let's just go on to look at all of these things that we have like down here. So like these are just like sort of shortcuts of that's indications of shortcuts of like the things we can do on the nano text editor. So like for example, now the first one we can see here now, which is the sort of this is the caret symbol and then G. So to press on your terminal, you simply need to type Control G on your keyboard to see what it will give you. So these are just like kind of shortcuts that you can type on here. So and out of all of these shortcuts, so they are all controlled by two major keys, which are the Control key and the Alt key. The Control and the Alt key on your keyboard. So let's say I type Control G here. What I'm supposed to see would be like all of the things, all of the shortcuts I can use on the nano text editor now. And the M here, that's as opposed to the caret symbol you are seeing here, like all those ones that stands that starts with M, you have to start typing the command with or the shortcut rather with the Alt key. So this basically means Alt U, Alt E, Alt A, Alt C, Alt what's it called, square bracket and closing square brackets, and then we have Control B here. So as opposed to maybe if you're using Mac, that should be Option in your case. That's as opposed to using Alt for Windows and other kind of systems. So let's say I want to list all the possible shortcuts I can use on my nano text editor now. All I need to do is to press Ctrl G. That's help, this particular one now. So if I should press Ctrl G, still on the nano text editor, I would see like a list of shortcuts and what they actually do. So anything you want to do, you can always look them up here and then just write the shortcuts and then you get what you want. So I will exit this for now. So I'm back to my text editor. So the next one I want to show us is how to save. So which is the Control O. So just like on your maybe on your Microsoft Word, maybe after typing stuff and then you now want to save them. So the same way, what you need to do here is just to press Control O. That's which is what we are seeing here now. So if I should press Control O, first of all, I would see a prompt telling me to rename the file or not. So this is the file name we gave it, right? That's a1.txt. So if I want to rename it to maybe A4, A5 or whatever, I can do that here. But if I want to leave it that way, I'll just simply press enter and then just press the enter key. And then that's sorted out and then you can exit. So if I should press Control X now, which is this here, I would exit the nano text editor. So let me just go back to the nano text editor and then show us the remaining shortcuts. So I may not be able to go through all of this because we don't have all the time. So we can always look all of these things up maybe later. So let's say for example, I want to find maybe find and replace and all of those stuff. Like for example, now this is telling me to find, that's the Control F. This is telling me to replace. If I want to find maybe a pattern among this piece of text on the screen, so all I need to do is to use my Control F, and then I would see a prompt here telling me to type in the particular pattern I want to search. So let's say I want to search for the word day. All I need to do is to type it here and then press enter, and then that is it being highlighted. So as simple as that. So if I still want to replace again, all I need to do is to do Control backward slash, and then indicates the particular word I want to replace and then what I want to replace it with. So let's say I want to replace day with week. So once I do that, I'll press enter. And then if they ask me, do I want to go ahead? Yes. So do I want to go ahead or not? So if I want to go ahead, I'll just say yes. That's by just simply tapping on Y. Y stands for yes. N stands for no. While A stands for replacing every other form of that's anywhere you find that pattern day, replace it with week. You get. So if you want to cancel, just simply tap on click Control C and then you would exit. So if I want to replace this particular one, I can just simply type either yes or A, since I just have one of those patterns. So A, if I do that, I would replace the day with week. So that's we can always read all of these things up, all of this stuff up, and then see how they work. I don't know if I still need to show us any other one. Okay, maybe I should do a few more. Okay, let's try the ones we can do with the Alt key. So this is Alt U. So if I want to undo what I just did, I just replaced day with week. If I want to undo it, all I need to do is to use the Alt plus the U buttons. So if I should do Alt U, I would redo what I just did. I would undo what I just did rather. So which is to change the week back to day. And if I want to go back to my week again, all I need to do is to just simply do Alt E. And then I'll get back to the week which I had initially. So that's basically it. So another one is so we can these ones are like kind of simply related, but that's cutting and pasting and the likes. So let me do this. So this might let me just do this. This might come in maybe handy, maybe one way or the other later on. So like let's say you are working on a file that has like kind of maybe many lines of text inside it that are like very much extended. Maybe let's say for example now for you to let's say I want to copy, well, or let me just paste this rather. I will duplicate okay. So let's say I want to copy and paste a specific range of or maybe like a particular line itself on that's in my text, that's in the text I have, that's in the documents I have. So what this particular shortcut is telling us that let's say I want to copy maybe a line alone. All I need to do is to first of all use my Alt A to set a mark. That's the range I want to copy. So if I should do first of all you need to place your cursor at the starting point of that line and then press Alt A. So your mark has been set. And then the next thing you need to do is to indicate where you're going to stop. So if you want to stop at maybe the last part, all you need to do is to stop here and then press your M6, that's the Alt 6 to copy that and then go and paste it wherever you want to paste. So that's about that. So let's say I just want to stop at week 2. So let's say I want to copy just from here. This might seem okay. Can't I just simply highlight and copy? But like maybe sometime in the future, like it might come in handy. Maybe when you need to quickly copy a long line and then paste somewhere else. So if I want to do this, once I've set my mark, all I need to do is to press Alt 6 to copy, and then I can now go on to save that to paste that anywhere with the Control U shortcuts. So Control U, I'll paste what I just copied. So just for now, just know that like these are like what these shortcuts are able to do. So don't bother about the simple stuff what they can do now and thereabout, because maybe at a point it might end up saving you like maybe in one situation or the other. So that's it about now. And then can we show another one again? Okay. I think let's not waste our time on the nano test editor for the whole of today. So if you need to learn maybe more about these ones we can see here, or other ones we can see whenever we press Ctrl G, we can always look them up and then see how they work. So let me exit. I don't want to save. That's it. So the next command we have here is the cat command. So the cat command basically stands for concatenate, simply because that's from the word cat and then concatenate is like the primary function is it helps us to concatenate files. And then apart from being able to concatenate different files, by concatenation I mean like if I have file A and file B, I can merge both of them together. So like I'll just have like kind of a uniform document that contains like the content that would have like the content of both the file A and then the file B. But apart from like concatenating, like the primary function we use it for is to basically read or display texts on the screen. So it's like kind of very like a good tool that we can use to kind of inspect the files we have and do all that stuff. So like we still have like another function that we can use this for, which is to do redirection. But then we would not talk more about that for today. We'll do that like maybe later on when we have a proper class on redirection and streaming. So that's it. So like for example, we have here. So I'm just basically trying to use the cat command to view the contents of a file I have here. So let's say you have a faster file and you want to view the contents of it on your screen. All you need to do is to just press cat and then the name of that file you have, and then you'll have it. So so don't mind this. This should be an error. The cats, there should just be one cat on this second line. So this is trying to concatenate Klebsiella ID1 faster file and then ID2 faster file together into one. So let me just do a demo. Let me open the okay. So this is the first one, the a1.txt file. Let me edit the a2.txt. So it's empty for now. So let's just go on to add a simple text. So let me just say hello there. And then to save, I would have to press my words Control O to save. And if you ask me, do I want to rename or should I leave it the same way? If I don't want to rename, I'll just simply press the return button and then I'll go back as I was right. So and then you simply press Ctrl X to exit. So and that's it. So like what I want to do now is to use the cat command to merge the two, right? But then before then, let's use the cat command to view what we have inside each of those files without having to open them, and then that's with the nano command. So if I should just say cat a1.txt, it will show me the contents of that file. Likewise, if I should do that for a2, I'll see it. But if I now want to merge the two of them, I'll now say a1.txt, cat a1.txt, and then cat a2.txt. So once I do that, I would have an output showing me the contents of the both of them. So I mentioned redirection earlier, redirection like earlier. So I'm not meant to like kind of maybe go deep into that, but like, let me just give us a brief insight of what I was trying to talk about. So if I want to merge two of these files into a single document, that's what I have inside the two of them. So like for example, now the example I have here now, the faster file of maybe Klebsiella, that's genome, and then that's ID1 and then ID2. So if I want to like maybe merge the two files together, one after the other, all I need to do is to repeat the same thing I did there, right? And then redirect it into a different file. So if I want to redirect the outputs of this particular command, the cat a1.txt, a2.txt command, which is supposed to give us the output we have here currently. Now, if I want to redirect this particular output into a new file, all I need to do is to use this particular symbol, the redirection symbol, greater than sign, and then indicate the name I want to give the new file that should contain both of them. So if I should name that maybe merged.txt and press enter, that file will be saved. So without the redirecting, you can never save whichever outputs the concatenation of two different files can give you. So let's go ahead to view that same file. It's either nano or cats. Nano will be simpler to just give us show it on our screen. If I should do cat merge.txt, I would have that output. That's the output, the contents of the files I've merged. So that's basically that. So there's still like kind of other complex things that we can do with cats, but like for now, we are still trying to take the baby steps to that's to see like the basic way they work. So for now, we don't need to be afraid. Like it's just a gradual process, and we would all get there. So no rush. So the next one we have here is the less command. So a less command is still similar to what we have what we've seen like so far now. That's viewing files, that's viewing files with the cat command. But then in the case of using the less command, sorry, in the case of using the less command rather, instead of having the contents of a particular file being printed on the screen, we would kind of see those contents in another separate page, which is not on the screen. So for example, now let's say like I have a particular file that contains maybe up to 10,000 lines. So I wouldn't want to just come and crowd my screen with all the lines of that particular text. Sorry, all the lines of that particular file rather. So all I need to do is to use the less command to view it on a separate window, which you can exit later and then keep typing whatever command you have on the terminal. So let's say, for example, now I want to view the merged.txt file without having them being printed out on the screen. All I need to do is to use ls command and then indicate the file name. So the pattern is always usually the command followed by the file name. So if I should do that and press enter, I would have that on a separate window. So these are the contents of the file I just opened with less. So the contents and then the name of the file, and that's just it. So if I have like more lines of text here, so I'll just see all of them like down here, which I can keep scrolling to view more. And I forgot to mention, after typing all of this, if I want to exit, all you need to do is to press the Q button on your keyboard. So if I should just type Q, it will take me back to where I was, my terminal. So that's just that. So maybe do I have any longer file? Let me go back. Do you have a question? Yeah, Q stands for quit. Thank you, Toby. Okay, so I'm trying to find a bigger file that I can open.
Two people raised their hands at the right below bar, and Chigozie Mika.
Victor. Okay, Victor and
Adela first.
okay, Adela, can go ahead first.
Okay, my question is, when you were creating text, you kept putting .txt. Can you not create a text without that? Or is there like a purpose the .txt is performing?
Okay, so you mustn't have an extension that's .txt, .pdf, .csv, .html or whatever. Like you mustn't put the extension. So with or without it, you can always open that file to add something. But then why it's important to always have extensions is extensions is because of the sake of organization. So let's say you want to know maybe your files that are CSV files, or maybe your files that are TXT files or PDFs and the likes. So that extension always helps you to distinguish them. So, or let's say, maybe, for example, now we have like different FASTQ files and FASTA files, and then you want to distinguish them. So the best thing to do while naming them will be to name those that are FASTA files .FASTA, and then those that are FASTQ files .FASTQ or .FQ, or whatever thing you choose to use. So you can always do that. So just like what we saw when I showed us about doing making a README file. That one did not have any extension. You just had README alone without any extension. Because most README that are just basically written as README in most cases. So I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I have another question. Are we
Yeah.
going to get
Okay.
the slide for this class? Because I think today you were quite fast, so I was not able to follow on my system.
Hey, fast. Wow, so sorry about that.
But you can get the slide. That's
Yeah, you can always get the slides.
so. To answer your
Thank
question,
you.
the first part you said, yes, mentioned most of it, but to put it in concise form, it is good practice. I wrote it in the chat already to put your extension, because when you start working, right, you would definitely understand why it is good. You sometimes you have a FASTQ file, like you made an example. Let's say you just got the file from your sequencer, you got a FASTQ file, and after you have gotten the FASTQ file, you have assembled the FASTQ file, right, and then you assembled it. So actually, most of the tools you use would automatically help you put your FASTA and your FASTQ, whatever. But if you don't do that, after you have assembled, you will know which file is FASTQ, which one is FASTA. You would have to be cutting all the time. But if you have it, if you want to search for all your FASTQ files in a twinkle of an eye, you just press ls*.fastq. You learn this command center. So it is good practice to just do it. It will save you a lot of headache if you put your extension. Do you get?
Yeah, thank you so much. Makes it so much clearer now.
So Victor, we can now answer you.
Victor, please go ahead.
Okay, so my question is this: for the cat command, you said you can use to merge text files. So I wanted to ask if you can use to merge PDF files as well.
The
Yeah.
If you
I
can
can't
use
hear
the
you.
cat command to make PDF,
Muffled.
Yes,
no.
to merge PDF files.
To merge,
Yes.
no. Like a PDF file that is like kind of more structured, and it's no, like it's not a text file like a regular text. So
PDF
like
files
I doubt if you can use the cat command to merge.
So
Oh,
PDF files have protocol behind them. So that's why they are PDF made by Acrobat, Abi, Adobe, whatever. They have a protocol behind them. That protocol did not start when when the commander has been in existence before they invented PDF. Do you understand? Maybe if that had existed, maybe they would have embedded the ability for cats to be able to do that and whatever. But why would you want to use save? Why would you want to concatenate PDF on the command line when you can
and
do when they are free source and help you do that? Now get that from you. I know what you want.
Yeah. So, anyways, Victor, that was a nice question. Like, irrespective, but like at least we've learned something. So, thank you very much. That was uh So I also forgot to mention, like, apart from doing all of this, you can also use a cat the cat command to create text files also. So the same way we did with the touch command. So if you want to create a file with the text with the cats command, all we need to do is to just type cats followed by the greater than sign, and then the name of what we want to name the new file that we want to create. So let me just say a mhm. So once like the downside about this is like why I hate doing this creating file with dots, that's with the cat's command, is that like at the end of the day, once you create that file, you always have to press Control D for it to run. So you won't end at pressing enter. So once I press enter now, you can see that I still have like this prompt waiting for me here. I still need to press Control D for me to exit. So if I should ls, I should have that file inside here. So that's basically that. Okay. So I was going to show us the less command in a bigger file. So let me open this file, filtered.csv. Filtered.csv. So this is a very long file that we can now see. So that instead of having all of these things blowing up on our screen, so it's safer to just simply use our less commands to view it. You get. So if I press Q, or if I press which stands for quit, I'll just come back to where I was. But then if I want to now do bonehead and want to do it with want to do it with the cat command, I can go ahead and try that. So if I just save cat filtered, everything will just blow up on my screen. I have to start scrolling up to see the last thing I did. So that's just another thing about it. So with the less command, it will save you that. So while inside the window showing us our file, that's the one we've opened with the list. So they're like sort of shortcuts or keys that we can press to get around or to navigate that particular file. So if I should go back again. So let's say so these are like just multiple keys that you can use to do one or two things on that's inside the documents that you've opened with your less command. So if I should press the space button to just like kind of show me like the contents of this page by page. If I want to go line by line, all I need to do is to use my enter button to be going like downward line by line. If I want to scroll backward by one page, the same way I scrolled down page by page, just need to use the B command to scroll back up. The B key rather. B.
B for
pressing B now. B is for back. Thank you very much. And then if I want to scroll back line by line, I would use my Y. Let me go back. So this is me using Y to go back up line by line. So you can always try like all of this stuff on your own. So if I want to go back to the beginning of the file, I'll use my G. If I want to go to the end of the file, I'll use my capital. This is redundant in you. Like the correct thing that should be here should be Shift G. Let me go back. So now let's say I'm at the beginning and then I want to go down to the end of the file to view the last line of that particular file. All I need to do is to press Shift G. That's the Shift key plus G. And then I'll go to the end of the file. And if I want to go back up, I'll just press G alone. Then I'll go back to the first line in that particular file. So that's it. If I want to search for a pattern, I can also do that. So let's say I want to search for like this is just like a file of that's AMR genes. So these are like kind of the accession numbers, the gene names, and the like. So if I want to search for maybe a gene, it's called should I any AAC here? So let me see and search that with this pattern. So to do that, you just need to type a / under your window and then indicate the pattern you want to search. So if let's say I want to search for the AAC, all I need to do is to press the / and then type AAC and then click enter to show me like all of the lines where we have that particular pattern. That's within the less window. So if I want to quit Q and then I'm back. So moving on. So this is another one that can always come in handy whenever you want to. So let's say you have maybe a file, and that file will probably contain maybe thousands or hundreds of lines, and then you don't want to view everything. Maybe you just want to view the columns or maybe the top 10 rows in that particular line. All you need to do is to use your head command to view the first few lines of that particular file. So it's just like kind of very useful for getting, having a quick glance of your file's contents. So for example, now the one we just viewed now on our that's on the timeline, the filter.csv file. If you just want to view the first few lines, maybe the first 10, like head always like head alone always displays the first 10 lines of that particular file. So if I should say head filtered.csv, I would see the first 10 rows of that particular file. So that's simply what it does. So we can also combine the head command with some options. So popularly the n option. So let's say I just want to view the first line, or the first 5, or the first 7, or the first 8, or even the first 20. All I need to do is to use the -n option to do that. So let's say I want to view the first 5, maybe from here to here. All I need to do is to say head -n, then you write the number of lines you want to be displayed. So we'll just go with 5, and then filtered .csv. So if I should press enter, I would see the first 5 lines of that particular file. So you can change this to whatever value you want. 2 will display the first 2 lines. If I want to display the first 20, I can always do that too. So another thing that works is like sometimes, like, you don't really need to even use the -n in some cases to do this. So you can just simply use -2 alone, just hyphen and then the number of the lines you want to be displayed. It also works as any of those. Press 5 -5. Do I have a question? I had a bit. Yeah, Victor.
All right. So quick question: does this option also work with the less command?
The less, no, it doesn't work.
No.
But then when we get to piping, you would also get to see how we can combine the head command with the less command with the head command to achieve what you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, like, I don't like for now, like, if you want to do it, like the less command, like, it's still basically the same thing. Like, if you just want to view the first few with the less, like, the head has already solved that for you. So I don't think but then let's just go what we have now and then keep moving. Slide. Yeah, just okay. Can you unmute and okay. Okay. So okay. Yeah, sorry for that. I was speaking with. So the next one we have on the list is the tail command. So as opposed to the head command, which shows us the first few lines of a particular file, what the tail command will do for us will be to show us the last few lines of that particular file that we want to work with. So how did I make this mistake? This should be tail, not this should be tail, not man. So the tail command shows us the last few lines of a file, and like it's usually like it's very useful for checking the end of a file and the likes. So let's just do a demo of that. So let's try to view the last few lines from. Let me just see. So what we have, this is the last few lines of that particular file. These are the last few ones. So to do that now, to just be simply tail then filter.csv to show us the last 10 lines of the file that we have. So just that. So the same way we combined the head with the n option, we can also do that here. N maybe 5 to read the last 5. And then with or without the n being there, you can view what we want to view. -5, -2, and so on and so forth. So finally to grep. So we are fast today because I'm already approaching the end of my slides.
Don't worry, people will they sleep.
Serious.
Good. We'll question. No, don't worry. Continue. We'll talk. We'll ask questions. Everybody will be asked. Will be picked. Continue your class.
Okay. So so what the grep command basically does for us would be to search for specific words or patterns or phrases that we have inside in documents or a file. So once you like what we have on the screen now is the kind of the outline how the grep command works. So most times it goes with options before you indicate the pattern, the text you want to search. So if you want to use grep, once you type the command, the next thing you have to do is to indicate that pattern you want to search for. So let's say I have a document containing maybe different FASTQ files and FASTA files and maybe other like maybe different file formats that we can use in bioinformatics. So and then you now want to maybe filter out or to just see those that are maybe FASTA files only. So all you need to do is just use the grep command, and then that pattern that unifies the common files that you want to extract, and then you indicate the file name which comes last. So, but then if you want to use the options that will get to see like as we go on now, you can also indicate the option you need to work with before you write your pattern. So let's do a demo now. So the same way we searched with a pattern when we used less. So now let's say we want to look for all the genomes that have the AAC gene within our filter.csv file. All we need to do is to use the grep command and then indicate that pattern we want to search. It's good practice to enclose it in quotes. So and then let's say ACA, right? Was that ACA or ACC? Can't remember again. AAC. AAC. So once I do this and then indicate the name of the file, I would see like the lines that the genomes rather that contain this particular gene. So which is what we're seeing here now on the screen. So that's it about now. So that's like kind of the basic way to use grep, just to search for patterns within your text. But then going forward, we get to see how we can combine the grep command with different flags or options to do different kind of things. So let's say, for example, now you want to search with a pattern irrespective of the casing that's being case sensitive. So there's a flag that you can use to do that. So let's say some of these genes we have here now starts with maybe written in small letters and not in capital letters. You can go around that by simply using an option that works with grep. So like whenever we're trying to practice, like if you want to fully see what a particular command can do, just remember to always use your man command to do that, to view that. So if you should open the manual for grep, we would like kind of see lots of things that we can do. Whether we want to color the patterns we are searching for with different kind of colors, and then do lots of other like that. There are like just many of them that we can do. Just use your the man command. It's always at your disposal to use. So that's basically that. So let's say I now want to search. Who is joining me? Okay. So let's say I want to so like these are just like the different options that we can use. The different options that we can use for that's along with grep. So this first one that we can see here stands for search matching by that's different like irrespective of the casing. We use the I option that's case insensitive. So search by case insensitive. So let's say I want to search for the same thing I just did for irrespective of the casing. You just have to use the hyphen I option and then indicate the pattern. Instead of writing capital A, C, I can just say A, small letter C, small letter A. And then I'm still going to get the same thing. Okay. Why am I just having two? Oh, I said ACA. This should be A.
You said this
Yeah.
AC.
So AAC.
Yeah.
So I'll still get the same thing I got here. So like ACA is already like matching like maybe for something else. That's still case insensitive again because these are like it's not the same pattern or specified, but like the same letters. So that's about it. So if you want to search irrespective of the case, you can use the hyphen I option to do that. So the command, the option, the pattern, and then the name. The command comes first, the option comes second, and then the pattern you want to match, followed by the file name, which comes last. So we can go on to demo like a whole lot of them again. So this is the C option. So the C stands for count. If you want to count the number of lines that contains that particular pattern that you are searching, all you need to do is to just use the C option to do that. To go with AAC, then hyphen C. So if I should do this, you just simply count the number of lines containing, or the number of genomes per se, or IDs or rows that contains that particular pattern that we're matching, trying to match. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's correct. So and then also we can always combine this, just like what we saw yesterday with the ls command that's combining options. We can also combine options here. So let's say I want to maybe, or let me just do a demo of another option before I try to combine. I mean, I won't be able to combine I and C. So the W option just kind of trying to it's basically matches based on word. So let's say, for example, now I have a okay. Let me. It's better I show this. So let me search by let I do eight. Let me do it. Okay, so the W option searches based on standalone words or thereabout. So let's assume I don't use the the W option. Sorry, let's I don't use let's assume I don't use the W option and then I just search with just 88. What I'm going to see would be like all the lines that contains 88, irrespective of whether they are like kind of maybe within a particular maybe range of numbers or combination of numbers or the likes. So like it's basically like the WD stands for word. If I want to maybe like kind of search for standalone words, all I need to do is use the W option to do that. So let's say, for example, now I now go ahead to use to check if there are like maybe like lines that has standalone 88 that's within them. That's what I'll use. So I don't have any of them. So that's why I don't have any outputs for now. So let me try to do something and let me copy this and search for that. Maybe for those that have that particular word within. So grep -w, then I would indicate the pattern. So if I should press enter, I would only see the standalone features or maybe entries that have that particular pattern I'm searching for within my document or file. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions? Questions from anybody? Okay. So the next one that I want to check is the -o option. So
Somebody said
who
their
said
head
it's
is.
hot?
Somebody said their head is hot.
Hey, God, oh, I beg, oh, I beg. Don't worry, don't worry. You like after this, like we'll still have like maybe follow-up sessions with different group leaders. So we'll still go over this again, like at a separate time. Yeah. So the person that their head is hot. So what's the is it too much like information or but for information overload or something like that? But like for now, what I would encourage you to do is like for this particular class now, like we are on the call, don't focus more on memorizing, just focus on understanding like what each command, like how they behave and all that. So maybe later on after the class you can maybe sit down to practice on your own, because it's by practice that you can grasp all of this stuff. So that's what I was saying yesterday, that we don't need to memorize, it comes naturally to us by practice. So but then after this class, so Abib is going to send a material for us to use. Yeah. So okay, Victor, you can go ahead.
All right, so quick question. The
Okay.
W option allows for standalone words or text, right? Okay, so is there an option that allows for just in between in between appearances, like the ones that appear in like amongst other other strings or other words?
Like if I understood you correctly, then the answer to your question is like what we've already done between the that's before using the W command, right? The same way we searched for 88.
Yes, but now like you know
Is there
if
how
it
okay.
but now for this one now, like it shows both the one that stand alone and the ones that don't stand alone. I'm asking you that if there's an option for the ones that don't stand alone only.
That don't stand alone only.
Yes.
So
No,
why? Hold on.
yeah.
Why would you want one that stands alone only?
Well, it could be
That's a
my
question.
my interest.
Okay. So there is something they call regular expression. Do you get? Are you listening
Sorry
to
for making I
me,
didn't get
Victor?
that.
You like because you were chewing something. So there's something they call regular expression, right? If you want a particular type of pattern, that's what this is about, by the way. So you would say start from, because we didn't mention it because it's going to be too complicated. We never enter that part. People are done the auth. Just if you need, the thing is, almost anything you need, you would get it, right? You can do almost anything with grep. So grep has GREP, general regular expression pattern or something. I can't remember if that's the full name. So if you want a particular type of text, let's say, this is where it will be important. Let me make the actual example. You are looking for a sequence. You have your FASTA file. You're looking for a particular sequence that starts with, let's say, ACG, and then anything in the middle, and then hence with maybe CCT or something. So there is a way you could write it in your script. and with this grep command, with the pattern, that particular place where the row pattern, you can do a lot of miracles there. So you would specify that, and after you are done specifying, you run it. If the pattern matches any line in your text, it brings it out. But it's not when we start doing complicated stuff. Actually, you would see what we are talking about. You didn't start it. I think it's going to talk about it when you start doing the correct sign, and then you start using what's the name, these curly braces, and you start putting different parts. You can find complicated things like that, Victor. That was why I asked you, in what situation would you want to do it, but you didn't think of it well because there are actually use cases for what you asked. Do you get? So it's a good question, but we never reach there. Tochi, you can continue.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So that's about it with W command. So the next one I have here is the O command. Sorry, the W option and the O option. Sorry for the mistake. So the O option basically prints out just the lines that contains the pattern that we're searching for, or rather like just the patterns we're searching for and their line, and then the lines where they belong. So like if I should say this grep -o, then AAC, and then it's indicate the file name and press enter. I'll just see this. It doesn't really make sense per se until I maybe go further to do something different. But then if I should change the small letter O, capital O, I would get something different like this, showing me the patterns and then their lines. And then if I now want to go ahead to see the actual lines where like all of this stuff belong to, that's the patterns that we've matched already. All I need to do is to just use the N option. And by the way, you can always combine. So let me just do this first before I combine. So I'm now seeing the different line numbers of all of this. So this is a line 42, 46, line 47, line 48, and so on and so forth. So this is just basically, the N option is just basically showing us the lines where the matches were found. And can also do this case sensitive just by to show us that we can combine. So let's say AC again. Search for them irrespective of the casing. So you can always combine like these options that we've seen so far to do whatever we want to do. So and then the last option that we have here, like among the many others that we can always see in the manual, is the V. So V stands for verbose, and then well, maybe I will not use the word verbose for now. So let's just say invert. So it starts from invert, like maybe at this particular point. So I was referring to maybe some other trying to like use another term meant for another command. So the V in this case just allows us to invert the match. So by inverting the match, what you're trying to do is to find only matches that don't have this pattern. So let's say I want to find all the genomes that don't have the AAC command. All I need to do is to use sorry, the AAC pattern rather. All I need to do is to use -v instead of just searching for the pattern. So -v. So if I should click on command, if I should click on enter this command now on my terminal, so I would only see the lines that do not contain AAC. So by the ways, I should write this in the correct format, AAC, unless I want to add the -i option here to search them case insensitive. So if I should press enter, I would have all the lines that doesn't contain this particular pattern at all. So, and that's basically that. So Toby mentioned regular expression earlier on. So like a regular expression is just basically a pattern that you can use to search through a document, a database, or thereabout. So for example, now we have like two that we can see here now on the screen. So like the pattern that we just use to search through these documents now can see like serve as maybe a regular expression like in its own way, but then like they're like kind of two special symbols that works across that's sort of general in a way. So let's say, for example, now the first one that we have here, which is the caret symbol. So this works when you want to search for maybe lines in a particular document that starts with a particular pattern. So let's say I want to search for all the lines that contains AAC. So sorry, that starts with AAC. With AAC, all I need to do is to add the caret symbol. Caret shift C. So if I should enter this, if there is any line in my document that starts with AAC, I would confirm if I have any line that starts with that. So if I should write click enter, I don't have any output simply because I don't have any line that starts with AAC. But then from what I can see on my screen, let me search for lines that starts with NZ. NZ. So if I should enter this command now, I should expect to get all the lines that starts with NZ. So which is what I'm seeing here now. You get, so that's like kind of a regular expression. Like you're using like this particular symbol, the caret symbol, to match for all the lines that starts with NZ. So if I want to, whatever document I have, so like based on like the information I have and then what I need to match, I can use the caret symbol to do that. So like a good example of that would be while working with faster files, and then maybe we want to count. So like I don't want to take us too far for now. So you want to maybe see all the lines in that your particular document that starts with the greater than sign, which is that's what we can see here on the screen now, which is always it is interrupt. Sorry, calling that. So we can use this to like just the same way we matched with NZ, we grepped with NZ. So let's say I want to search for lines that starts with this, which is usually the header for FASTA file. All I need to do is to do this, and then maybe the name of the FASTA file I have. So once I press enter, like I will see just the IDs of all of those my FASTA files. But then for now, let's just focus on the basic knowledge, like what we can do with grep. So when we get to practice and maybe go deeper into the course, we'll get to see like all of these hands-on. So yeah. So and then the second regular expression we have here is the dollar sign. So we just basically use this to search for lines that ends with a specific a line that ends with a specific pattern that we want to match. So let's say I want to match all the lines that ends with let's say 2998. So I want to match for all the lines that ends with 2998. So all I need to do is to type that pattern and then add the dollar sign behind it. So once I press enter, I would get all the lines that ends with 29998. So and that's it. So I think that's basically that for now. So if you have any questions, please you can. Okay, there's one on the chat box. Victor, you're not serious. What do you mean by print dollar to your account? So guys, please, if you have any questions, please you can present them now. Let's see how far we can tackle them. Please, if you understand, thumbs up. If you don't understand, frown. Yeah. You know what, like once Abib releases the documents, I believe it will help us to study, and then the video would always be available.
So I would like to say something. For everybody that this looks complicated to at the moment, I don't think it should be. Because think of it this way. Imagine you are newbie to a computer. You have not used a computer before, right? One of the things they would explain to you, or they would show you, is how to switch on a computer, how to open your files in your desktop, how to go to your files and your download, how to use Microsoft Office. At least that was one of the first things they will teach you. How to use Microsoft Office Word, right? If you have critically thinking about how we have done in the past few days, yesterday, today, I think last week, you started yesterday, by the way, you would see that what we are doing is the same thing, but for the command line. Almost everything we have done here, I'm sure you could do with Microsoft Office Word if you are going to do it well. Grep, or if you are using grep with your Microsoft Word, all you have to do is Control F, and then that small pane will come up, and then you start searching for things you want to search, right? And then almost everything we did when we're doing nano, when you're doing touch, if you want to do nano or touch, all you have to do is go to your file explorer, right click and say new folder, new document, or new file, whatever you want to do. So we are showing you the same thing that you would have to learn if you were starting to learn your computer again as a beginner. So also it's until you can do all of these things, then you can now start handling the tools of bioinformatics. So that's when you specialize. So let's say you want to learn graphics design, or you want to learn video editing. So you at least you have to know how to use the computer first before you now get introduced into softwares like Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, whatever. Do you understand? So that's the point we are trying to make to you here. So don't let it seem complicated. The more you use it, that's where practice comes into play. The more you use it, the better you become at it. And I think that's my rant. I was going to let us do like yesterday, let us go to File Explorer. Oh yeah, what command with it, but your heads are hot already. So let's move on to the next. So when Abib drops the document, you would get a clearer picture of everything. Thank you.
So please, I have a question. Like, how many of us are with our systems? We'll be trying like some of these things out at all. Just with a thumbs up. That's okay if you're using your system. I know Adeola is using her system. She mentioned that like, nobody else is using their system to follow the class. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So see what will happen. Like maybe Abib should talk about the. You want to talk about it? The assignments. Okay. Okay. So like let me just say something like for now. So for now, I'll just try to encourage us. So just like we said during the info session, like things are going to get hard and we'll be like more this in there hard, but like believe me, you like once you start maybe typing like all of these things out on your terminal or on your or maybe on your different computers, like it should just come to you. So it's all about putting in the effort. Like if you don't put in the effort, it won't come to you at all at all. Like that was like kind of one of the issues we had during the last cohort. So like if you end up not practicing or not even opening your computer at all, or not even trying to even install safe, like I won't be surprised. Like like we can't perform any magic to make you learn them in a class. So just try as much as possible to like also learn on your own, and then just have it in mind. Like what we are doing here is like just sort of an overview of the actual thing. So like apart from like what we are doing here now, like after each section, and then we release the assignments and the different documents that we can use to practice. Like you have your group leaders that you can always reach out. Just DM them, drop messages on the group chat, and then they would always be there to respond to you and make things clearer. So don't relent at all at all. So just always reach out to your group leaders and try to like practice this stuff on that's on your own end. So it's never going to be easy. So but then like if you persist and try to stick to come. So it's not a matter of maybe am I dull or am I not. So just the same way LS was tweeting us yesterday and BWD was tweeting us yesterday, like the same way, like all of these will still come to us, but then we need to practice. So like dedicating like 30 minutes per day or even 1 hour self is enough to like take us from like a very basic level to like a more advanced level that's in getting all of this stuff. So that's just that. I mean, do you want to say anything?
Yes. Can you So just to add to what Tejuku said, so I'll be dropping the material like it's more or less like a textbook. And so I mean the Friday's class and Saturday's class, I mean there will be just overview. So in order to actually delve deeper, so I mean each group leader will reach out to their group members. So that will be office hour. So it is in that office hour that we will delve deeper. So I mean, at the end of this class, we'll tell you the chapter to actually read. These are very short chapters, so you have to read the chapters. And then, I mean, there will be 1 hour, probably for my group, and I just think probably we'll be meeting every Wednesday. I don't know the time. I mean, we have to decide on that. So for, like, let's say I'm in group 1 now, I'm the group leader for group 1, we can decide that, okay, we'll be meeting on Wednesday. So in that Wednesday, so we just dedicate 1 hour. So in that 1 hour, so the textbook I'm going to be dropping is a very interactive textbook. And a textbook that you can actually follow that will actually force you to practice, because I mean everything is just procedural. You have to type the command, press the command, answer some questions. Everything is well laid out, and it's a very short textbook. So we just have like 8 chapters, and we have to finish that 8 chapters within, actually I would say within 4 weeks. So I'm thinking we'll be doing like probably, because we'll be meeting once every week. I mean for the office hour, it's just going to be 1 hour. So, I mean, we'll give you the chapters to actually read, and there are exercises, a lot of exercises that you can actually, because I mean, you guys have to practice. If you don't practice, this thing will not stick to your hands. I mean, it's not going to become sticky. So, what will happen is that we'll meet in that office hour, delve deeper, address I mean the challenges that you are facing, and then so I will just call on somebody randomly in my group. I won't tell the person like beforehand. I will just call somebody randomly, solve this exercise. So you are going to like come with your system, share your screen, and then walk us through the exercises, and then everything will be interactive. So that way, anybody can be called upon. I won't tell you beforehand that okay, you'll be the one that is called upon, and then we'll be grading you. If you are the type that you are missing it, if you miss it, and then or probably you are not performing very well in it, I mean, I don't expect you to perform, but at least show, I mean, your dedication and determination. So we'll be scoring, and then you just notice that probably we just remove you from the group if you see that, I mean, if you notice that you are not actually forthcoming. So this thing I beg, so please take it seriously. Like I said, so we have a lot of people that are actually looking up to us. I mean, Prof she's always asking about the progress of these things. So I mean, we can't just say, okay, I mean, you pass through bioinfo, and then Prof calls you and say, okay, I mean, give you a test, this and this, and you are not even able to like run it. And if you don't, I mean, probably understand this concept now. By the time we get, I mean, we start delving deeper into the bioinformatics hardcore. Because in the bioinformatics hardcore, I mean, we'll be teaching you the theoretical part and also the practical part. I mean, you have to understand the concept and then probably tell you, oh, maybe this are the way you run the command like that. You will actually see that you will be taking us back. So you actually need to like understand this concept. And I think, I mean, by the time I drop that book, I mean, you guys will actually love it. And then I think the office hour is also going to help. So like I actually employ probably the group leaders to actually probably poll their students and ask them, I mean, the time that actually works for them so that you can actually meet like at least probably once in a week. So please take that office hour very seriously. In the general class, which is the Friday and Saturday, it's just to actually introduce the concept. But what I mean, by the time we want to get, I mean, delve deeper, so that's when I mean the office hour will actually come into play. In my these are approaches that have been used by top schools, I mean top universities in the world. So I mean they just flash everything in the normal class, and then it is when you have the office hour with the public teaching assistants. So that's when people, I mean, tends to like probably understand things better. So I mean, the last time we were just spoon feeding a lot of the last cohort, we were spoon feeding them, but we realized that I mean these students they actually I mean they retain better when I mean we started forcing them to actually implement some things. In fact, that was actually what made some people to be actually very good and comfortable on the command line. So by the time you actually complete this exercise, the satisfaction that you will get at the end of the day, I'm very sure it's going to be, I mean, so rewarding. So please, I'll be dropping the textbook probably after this call. So the your group leader will actually probably contact with you and then probably tell you the modus operandi of how things is actually going to run. So please take the exercise very seriously and then please note that we'll be grading you so that by the time probably we just remove you from the group, you won't be saying, yeah, but why did you remove me? Why did you do that? We are saying it now. Take it seriously. We are grading you. We are watching. So we might not probably say, okay, come and write a test. And that is because I mean we have a large class, and then we don't actually have like a class to be meeting physically. So, but the only way we can grade is probably your commitment. In fact, if you are not even if you are even struggling, it's even better. But I mean, are you always coming to class? Are you kind of like determined to actually see this to the end? So I mean, those are the things we will be looking at. So thank you very much. I think I'm done. You can drop the test. Is the test necessary? I could ask them. I'm not sure whether they are willing to take the test. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like I mean we'll be dropping a link. Just we just want to use this to evaluate how today's class went. So just like what we did yesterday to evaluate today's class. So
People are shitting their pants.
No, it's good. It's something very simple. It's not difficult.
Okay.
This is the it does check.
You can stop sharing your
You need
screen.
to no. You have to chill.
I'll send a link.
Group two, don't disappoint me.
So I think I'll stop sharing now. Yeah.
Started with
Hmm?
85 people join the mission.
More here, don't be. You show me that. So I want to put it to make an audio we don't install. That's true. Yes. You know, nobody's saying that they open.
The thing is, like, okay, I just want to ask.
No.
I want to ask the group members. I mean, are you always engaging with the group leaders? Are you always engaging with your group members? I know for my group there are some people that just enter my DM and then ask questions, which is actually very lovely. I'm not sure whether that is the case for the other groups. Because please, if you don't probably reach out to this today, you just think they actually understand these things. But they don't. Please always check up on them. Like it's not as probably we need them to be very good at this one. Like so please. I know Joseph groups like but I don't know where. And I think Tochukwu was telling me about Richard Miller's group as well.
But
Yeah,
we'll
so
catch
please
up.
always reach out to your group members. Yes, please make sure you pull them. Have an office hour. I mean, that is when we actually delve deeper. So that's where we start. So that's why we divided people into groups. And that's why we have a large class this time around. You know, like in last quarter, we just started with, I think, probably 7 or 10 people. But now that we have a lot of tutors, so please, there's a reason why we actually divided people into groups. So that there can be that, one-to-one relationship. And then you can always follow up so that we can have a manageable class. So in my group, I have like 12 people. So I think I should be able to keep track of 12 people. Their progress. I'm actually always watching. I know people that, yeah, I know people in my groups that, I mean, they ask questions, and I know some people that don't ask questions. So when they fail, I won't be surprised, or when they are struggling, I won't be surprised. So I'm always watching. And the one thing about me is like in my like I'm always very open to it. So please always interact with your group members, and even if they don't follow, they don't ask questions, follow up in the dashboard. So is this one done?
It's only 11 people on the are currently writing.
Yes, I can see Victor, Adiola, Esther, Bantu, Samuel, Shameless. Please, why will you put in Shameless? Please put your name so that we are able to. Which one is Shameless? We have I, we have Phil, we have Barakat, we have Bolatito, we have Kelechi, and Akintayo Adewale. Shameless, I don't know who is Shameless now. We have I. Who is I? I think I know Phil. Probably Phil is Philemon. Yeah, Philemon. Yeah. Now, I think we need to wait.